actually, I'm going to start with the phone development one on this one, because this is an app, right? Stop Motion Studio. A good thing that I want to mention something that came up in the chat here. Somebody mentioned, in order to get your app on the Play Store, I don't know, it's probably similar for Apple. They compete pretty closely. But in order to get your app on the Play Store, you need to purchase, I don't know if it says it right over here. You need to be a seller. I don't think it says there. But I had looked into this a while ago, and it's about, it might be more now, but back then it was about $80 to be a seller. So if you think that you can make that $80 back based upon selling some apps, then there you go. And that you could start selling your apps online right now. A lot of companies put their apps, you might notice this on your apps on your phone, is they put their apps free. So you might think, how are they making any money? But then they go and they get ad sponsorships, and in between your levels or whatever you're doing when you're playing your game, an ad will pop up. So they're making money through ads, even though the app is free. And then what they do is they charge you, and then if you pay the money, then they'll take away those ads from you. Yeah, so someone posted in there that free apps make so much more money, and it's because of all those ads that they end up throwing in there. Companies know that people will be playing these apps, and so in addition to putting ads on TV, now they're paying a lot of money to put these ads onto your games, because people are getting it that way too. So the one other thing that I wanted to point out on this is, if you do create an app for something like Google Play or the Apple Store, there's a couple things that we want. Here is the title of this app. Here is a screen capture of what the app is doing. This one has got a whole bunch of screen captures, but we want to get, if we can, at least one screen capture of what the app is doing. And then also a little description. This one's got to read more here. A little description of what the app does. We want to do that too if we end up choosing to do this phone app activity. Okay, what we need in order to do this one. So the good question that just came up in the chat is, can we use Scratch to make the app? So we're going to use this MIT App Inventor, and it uses, this is from the people who created Scratch. So the coding in this is actually Scratch based. So we need our Google login, and I'll show you how I can log in quick to this. It's good if we have an Android phone, because you can, I have mine here. I won't get it out today, but I'll show you how you can test your app on your phone. And another way to do it is, they have, if you don't have a phone that can test it, they have a phone emulator that you can install on your computer, and then you can, it's a pretend phone that's on your computer that can run it also. You may want programming experience, or if you're good at following some video instructions, you can probably do this. But if you're wanting to create your own app, which is a little bit more difficult, you probably want to set up some sketches of what your interface will look like. So to start, let me just show you. I think I have it here. If you click this link, it'll open you up to this page, same as what I had open over here. I'll close that one. So we want to log in. We want to get going, start building apps with App Inventor 2. I'm already logged in, but it might ask me to log in again. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of Gmail accounts. So it's asking me which one do I want to log in as. I'm going to log in as my school account because that's the one I've used for this before. And you can do the same. So you would pick your school account. And these are a whole bunch of, oh, oops, I must have clicked one by accident. Let me just go back to those projects. These are a whole bunch of student ones that different people have submitted that do different things. So some people have made Flappy Bird ones before, and there's tutorials. All these are on here that you can try and go about making it. So there is this, which is the designer mode. This shows you what the screen of your app will look like. You can pick, if you want a button, you just drag and drop these onto here. Now, where it looks scratch-based, there's two buttons up here, designer and blocks. This is where you actually program. If you notice, it looks very much like Scratch. This is where you program the app to do stuff. Now, Flappy Bird is a pretty intense, that's a lot of coding. And this is what I'm talking about, where if this guy did all this coding and something wasn't working and he said to me, Mr. McKenna, where is this wrong? I'm going to have a hard time being able to help that person out because all this coding, this is very, very logic. I can maybe troubleshoot and help them look in the right area. Okay, so this one is kind of a crazy one. Let me go back and show you. There are much more simpler ones, but some of these students really wanted to program something crazy. I don't know that I necessarily kept some of the really simple ones. This one I think you can find a video for. This is a Magic 8-Ball app, and I believe it doesn't have as many. So you're going to kind of see all these are all the possible outcomes that can come up. And that's it. So that one doesn't have as many. It uses an accelerometer or accelerometer sensor. So what that does is it says there, this is, what's nice about this too is if you know a little bit about programming, the new, and I guess it's not new anymore, it's probably been around since you guys have been born, but the new programming is object-oriented programming. So this is very much object-oriented. An accelerometer is, you get to pick what happens here. So accelerometer sensor 1 is shaking. When you shake your phone, that's telling this to do something. What it does is it sets the text to a randomly picked item, and it picks one of these randomly. There's the coding for it. There is a little bit more where you have got to design the interface as well. So right in here, if I go back to our site, if I look at steps for success here, right here is a roller. Actually, I have, just before I do that, where was my page? I saw it there when I was looking for one. Right down here. It's spelt wrong, but rollerball. Let me open this one up. This one, I don't know what's missing right here, but you're trying to get this blue ball into, I believe there's like a black hole here. You're trying to get it into that black hole, and you can't hit this red ball. If you hit the red ball, then you lose. So if you wanted to, for example, make this rollerball app, you could change the background to whatever you wanted. You could put your logo in the background. This video is the steps on how to do it. So you'd want to follow those steps. And if, as you can see here, it shows you where you can find the puzzle pieces, how to bring them in, and do that. If you are thinking you wanted to make your own, this is what I was talking about with making a sketch. What do I want this app to do? So some people were saying, I want the app to give me to go to the Montreal Canadiens website and get their stats. Well, you might want to draw what it's going to look like and then see if you can find a tutorial that opens up to a web page, and you're going to change that URL that they use and put it to the Montreal Canadiens site. In the end, we want to put a little title. If we make rollerball, we'll put the title as rollerball. We'll try and get a screen capture of it. Now there's two types of files. These two types of files are kind of like, if we think back to Photoshop, Photoshop has .psd files. That's a Photoshop file. And I'll mention this again because this is kind of a tricky idea. A PSD file is a Photoshop file. Remember, that keeps all the information for all our layers in Photoshop. We don't really want to give people, except for me when I'm asking to see what work you've done, but if we were a design person, we don't want to give people our Photoshop file because then they can just take that and do something with it. In programming on App Inventor, a .aia file is your programming file. It shows all the code, all the blocks that it took to create it, your design window. So the AIA file, oops, I'm going to get rid of this one, is the one that you want to keep. For me, we would want to submit that because I got to check that you programmed it instead of just downloading something. But the AIA in the future, if you want to become an app programmer, is the one that you're keeping. That's your development file. The APK, that is, people can't get into the code for using that one. That one's a compiled code so that people will load that APK onto their phone and they can actually use your app. So one other thing in here, I don't know if I have the inspiration for this one. Maybe I forgot to put it on here. So this is the page over here. You can download them all. You'll notice they're all APKs, not the AIAs. That way people can't go in and just change their code. But the 1 year people made a texting app, a fidget spinner app, a Bop It app, Pong app. Another year people made a paint app. There's the rollerball app. They took the rollerball and made it level up, where you're trying to get it to the green, but the red one keeps getting bigger and bigger, and there's more levels. Temperature conversion, tic-tac-toe, have them take video, camcorder, the video player is down here, text to speech. So a whole bunch of the things you want to look, that was a good question, are over here. I haven't used Lego Mindstorms. That's new since I've been in it. I'm not even sure what that is. But if you are following a tutorial, it's going to show you in here where it is. Oh, there it is, sensors. So if you want that accelerometer for shaking, when you shake, there you go. It's right in there. A whole bunch of different stuff. If you want to make a step counter, look right there, a pedometer. So a whole bunch of different things. If you, depending upon what you, that's why I'm saying you should plan out what you want to do, get your ideas, and then we can see what we can do in here. Again, you can always play with a bunch of different things. If you don't like the one that you did, say start a new project, open it up again. That way you can mess around with it, play with it, figure it out. Okay, I have talked a whole bunch about phone apps. Let me just talk a little bit about a couple other things here.